Good day, everyone. Hello, Thea. Hello, Harold. Hello, Charney. Hello, Priza. Hello, Ria. Welcome to my class. I am Nelpulinti Mondigo, your teacher for today's discussion. May I call in Harold Pagayon to lead the prayer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Let's put ourselves in the holy presence of God, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Dear Father in heaven, we, your children, are here before you. We would like to offer you this day. Thank you for the gift of life and for the blessings that we have received. On this day, we would like to ask for your guidance. Please to enlighten our minds so that we could understand our lessons well. Help also our today's teacher in delivering his lessons so that the overall goal and objectives of today's class will be achieved. This we all ask in your most gracious and holy name. Amen.
Amen. So let us proceed for the checking of attendance. May I call in our class Beadle? Kindly present the status of our attendance. Let's have Charney.
Yes, ma'am. So there are no absent for our class today po, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So by the way, did I give you assignment yesterday?
None, ma'am.
Oh, very well. So before we proceed with our lesson, let us first recall the topic that we had last meeting. Anyone from the class who has a good memory from our discussions about triangle? Let's have Briza.
Last meeting, ma'am, we have tackled the triangle theorem, their similarities, angles, and of course, the theorem.
Okay, very good. We tackled about the triangle theorem, especially in their similarities, theorems, and other theories that will represent or have or give the length of their sides and their angles. So, um, let's have for the trivia. Class, we know that triangle comes in many flavors. There are we have the equilateral, isosceles, scalene, right triangle, obtuse triangle, and acute triangles. Don't you know that the triangle is the stronger shape? So if you try to create a shape out of the stick joined with hinges of example squares, even without force applied, it will be transformed into a parallelogram, but triangles will not. For a triangle, no matter what type, this can happen. It's inherently rigid. That's why this shape is very common on buildings, especially on what we have shown in map presentation and other construction. That's why some building or landmarks look like this. It's how important this shape is. So would you like to know more about triangles?
Yes, ma'am.
Fantastic. So let us proceed. So I prepared the scrambled word game. So I will be presenting scrambled word, and you will give its answer or its corresponding word. So anyone from the staff to get the answer, the right word will have the point for our next activity. So let's start. Please say me, ma'am, your name, enter the scrambled word. First,
Mm,
Krisa. Ay, okay. Harold.
Para ma'am.
Triangle. Very good. Another item. Anyone from the class? Okay, Charney.
Isosceles, ma'am.
Isosceles. Very good. Another scrambled word. Krisa.
Siya,
Special, very good. Another word. Let's have Ria.
Theorem.
Very good. For our last word is let's have Harold.
Pythagorean, ma'am.
Pythagorean. Very good. So based on this scrambled word I had present today, what can you say or what do you think is our topic for today? Anyone from the class? Again, who already knows already about the topic for this morning? Let's have Kriza.
Spe- Special right triangle.
Oh yes, Kriza, very good. Our topic for this morning is about special right triangles. So this is our objective for today. Okay, let's proceed for our discussion. Special right triangles. For our lesson 1, we have the 45 degree 90 degrees triangle or the isosceles triangle, and for the lesson 2, we have the 30 60 90 degrees or the triangle theorem or what we call the acute triangle. So let's start for the isosceles right triangle, the 45 triangle theorem. So in an isosceles right triangle, the length accordingly of the hypotenuse is equal to the product of the length of the leg and the square root of 2. In symbolic form of the length of a side is x. Then the measurement of the hypotenuse is stand for x square root of 2 because it states there in the theorem that the length of the leg and the square root of 2 is our hypotenuse. And the length of the leg or the two length of the leg is equal given that it is an isosceles right triangle. Let's have this illustration. We have the triangle ABC and is an isosceles right triangle and angled 90 degrees at B. For the side A to B is our x and the side B to C represent the x, which means that these two sides are equal and the hypotenuse is only the x multiplied to square root of 2, and that is the right triangle theorem. So I would like you to remember this theorem. It is proved that AC is equal to AB square root of 2 and is equal to the side BC square root of 2. So let's have this example number 1. We have the isosceles triangle LAB and angled A or 90 degrees in A. Let's have solve for x and y. Knowing that x and y right is equal since it is an isosceles triangle. So no matter where you will put x and y, either in LA or inside AB, it's up to you as long as these two sides are equal. So if if we have the AB or the length of AB is 8, find LA is equals to x and our LB is equals to y. AB is the first length and the LB is our hypotenuse. So find x. Since in our theorem earlier that LB is equals to AB multiplied to square root of 2 and is equal to LA square root of 2. And our LB here is our hypotenuse. Given that AB is equal to 8. What I told you if one side is 8 or the AB is 8 means that since it is a isosceles triangle, if one side is AB, is the another side? Anyone from the class?
LA, ma'am. Side LA.
Yes, and LA is equal to
8.
8 as 2, ma'am.
yes, very good because it is an isosceles triangle. Very good, Charmy, and very good, Harold. So therefore, our x or the x side is 8. So let's find y. And our y here is our hypotenuse, which is DLB. And based on the theorem that our hypotenuse is just the size of our length multiplied to square root of 2. So what is our x? Anyone from the
8.
Eight.
class?
Eight,
8.
ma'am.
So 8. Okay, 8 square root of 2. That is our hypotenuse, or the length of our hypotenuse, or the side LB. So remember, x is equal to 8 and y is equal to 8 square root of 2. Let's check if our answer is correct. To know that our solutions are right, we must satisfy the Pythagorean theorem. So anyone from the class who can state or recall what is the Pythagorean theorem? Let's have Charney. Okay, Harold, what is our Pythagorean theorem?
As far as I remember, ma'am, Pythagorean theorem follows the formula c squared is equals to a squared plus b squared.
Okay, very good, Harold. So let's copy our illustration, or the triangle LAB, and knows that LA, or our x, is 8 and LB, our hypotenuse, is 8 squared of 2. So based on what Harold say earlier, that C squared equals to A squared plus B squared, we will have this LB squared as our C squared, LA squared as our first side, and AB squared as our second side. Let's substitute the answer we get earlier. LB 8 squared of 2 raised to 2 is equals to LA as 8 raised to 2 and AB as 8 raised to 2. Let's simplify. Get your calculator. So the answer of 8 squared of 2 is 64 times 2, and 8 squared is 64 plus 64. Let's simplify. 64 times 2 is 128, and 64 plus 64 is 128. That does mean that our answer, or the length we had get earlier, is correct, for it satisfies the Pythagorean theorem. Did you all get it, class?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, very good. Let's just proceed for another example, the example number 2. Okay, if we have a square window and has a diagonal of 12 feet, what is the length of its side? So our square window is this. We have the HLSP, and we have to draw diagonals on it, which will represent our hypotenuse in our triangle. So we have this isosceles triangle with a hypotenuse of 12 feet. And SH, or the first side, is our X, and the second side is our Y. So the problem state that what is the length of its side. So if we solve for X, then that means that it is also our Y, since it is an isosceles triangle. So let us have our first side as our X, and the second side, HL or LH, is our Y. Let us solve for X. So let's have LS is equals to HS squared of 2. It is based on the theorem we have earlier, that the LS is only equal to our hypotenuse that is multiplied by square root of 2. So our LS is 12, and our HS represent as our X, or our first side, multiplied to square root of 2. So let us solve for X. Let us divide both sides by square root of 2, and that will lead to X is equal to 12 square 12 divide square root of 2. Let's rationalize it, and it will simplify to 12 square root of 2 over 2. So again, we can simplify it. So X is equal to 6 square root of 2. So if our first side is 6 x is square root of 2. What is the other side of our y?
The same, ma'am. 6
Okay,
square
very
root
good.
of 2.
Same. Yes. Since our x is 6 square root of 2 feet, it's the same as our y is equal to 6 square root of 2 feet. Very good, Harold. So let's check if our answer is correct. To know that our solutions are right, we must verify again the Pythagorean theorem, which is c squared equals to a squared plus b squared. Or in there, we have SL squared. You can see in the figure, right, that our SL is our C in a Pythagorean theorem, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it is equal to SH squared plus HL squared. Let's substitute the given we have earlier, or the answer we have earlier. 12 squared equal to 6 squared of 2 squared plus 6 squared of 2 squared. That will lead to 144 is equal to 72 plus 72, and 144 is equal to 144. That does mean that our answer is correct. Did you all get it, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay, very
ma'am.
good. So that means that our x and y is 6 squared of 2 feet. So now let's just proceed for our another theorem, or for the lesson 2, the 30, 60, 90 degrees triangle theorem, or this 30, 60, 90 degrees is also known as the acute triangle. So in a 30-degree, 60-degree, and 90-degree triangle, the length of the hypotenuse is the twice of the length of the shorter leg. And the leg of the longer leg is equal to the square root of 3 of the shorter leg. So, para mas maintindihan nyo, sabi dito na yung hypotenuse daw is twice siya sa length sa ating shorter leg. So, if our shorter leg is x, so that is mean twice. So, 2x, our hypotenuse there is 2x. And our length is equal to the square root of 3 of the shorter leg, which is means that if our shorter leg is x, so it is x square root of 3. So example, we have this triangle PQR, and it is right angled at Q. So as what I have said earlier, that if QR is our small side or our shorter leg, the hypotenuse there is just twice of it. And another longer leg there is just it multiplied to square root of 3. So the measure of angle P is 30 and the measure of angle R is 60. So it is, remember this proof or this theorem, PR, our hypotenuse is just equal to the twice of our shorter leg. And PQ or our longer leg is just equal to our shorter leg multiplied to square root of 3. Remember it. Okay, so using the term, we have proved that we could create an equilateral triangle from our original triangle. So our uh, our our 30-60 triangle, if we reflect it into our mirror, it will produce a equilateral triangle, which is has a three equal sides. So just like this EQR. So that's it. We have the example number 1 for the 30, 60, 90 degrees triangle theorem. Given G and R is right angled at angle R, let's solve for X and Y. Remember the theorem, guys, okay, class? Let us solve for X and Y, where our G to R is our shorter leg and our N to R is our longer leg. Let's solve for X. Since NG or the hypotenuse is just the twice of our shorter leg, then that means that 12 is equals to 2x. Tama po ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's solve for x. Let's divide both sides by 2 and that will lead to x is equals to 6. So for y. So anyone from the class, I will ask you, what is the length of the y given the triangle theorem? Remember that it's just the x or the shorter side multiplied to square root of 3. So what is our y?
6 square root of 3.
Okay, very good. So that is y is equals to the shorter leg multiplied to square root of 3, and that leads to y is equal to 6 square root of 3. Very good, class. Let's check if our answer is correct. To know again that our solution is right, we must satisfy the Pythagorean theorem. Let's have this illustration again, where our x is equals to 6 and our y is equal to 6 square root of 3. Let's substitute it to the Pythagorean theorem. We have 12 squared is equal to 6 squared plus 6 square root of 3 squared. Simplified to 144 is equal to 36 plus 108. And then 144 is equal to 144. That means that our solutions earlier is correct. Any questions? Class, do you have any questions?
None, ma'am.
Okay, let us proceed. For our example number 2 in 30, 60, 90 degrees. If a ladder lands against the wall with an angle of elevation 60 degrees and a base of 8 feet from the bottom of the wall, what would be the height of the wall and how long is the ladder? In these illustrations, I already put the illustrations of the given or the real life problem we have in example number 2, where the x is our height of our ladder and our y will be the height of the wall. Given that, again, 8 feet is our base and 8 feet is our shorter side and 60 degrees is our for our angle of elevations. Let's solve for x be the height of the ladder, y be the height of the wall. Find x. X is just simply twice of the shorter length, which is our base. So x is equals to 2 times 8 means x is equals to 16. So we'll have to find the value of the y is just a base or the shorter length multiplied to square root of 3 based on the triangle theorem. Y now is equal to 8 times square root of 3. Therefore, the height of the ladder is 16 feet and the height of the wall is 8 square root of 3. Or using your calculator, you can have the decimal form to 13.86 feet. So understand, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Let's check if our answer is correct. Let's have again this illustration. To satisfy again, we must to check it again, we must satisfy the Pythagorean theorem as x is equals to 16 and our y is equals to 8 square root of 3. Let's substitute to x squared is equals to y squared plus base squared or our other side. Substitute 16 and 8 square root of 3 and our 8. Simplified to 256 is equals to 64 times 3 plus 64 or 192 plus 64. 256 is equals to 256. That means that our answer is correct. So do you get it, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Nakuha po ba ninyo? May mga tanong pa ba kayo?
Po, ma'am.
None so far.
Do you have any questions you have in your minds?
None so far.
Harold.
ma'am.
Okay, Kriza. Ria, Charney,
None
Clea.
so far.
Okay, none so far. Let us proceed for our group activity, and I would like you to choose your pair and please communicate it through your private message or you're using the messenger applications. You will have to answer this real life problem with your pair, and please submit it to our Google Classroom. Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
May mga kapares na po ba kayo?
Meron na po.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So I'll give you 10 minutes to answer. 5 minutes to answer this real life problem. Let's start. Okay, time's up. Please submit it to our Google Classroom. Okay. How about Harold? Please pass your paper. Time's up.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I already have your answers and your turn in answers in our Google Classrooms. If you have no questions so far, let's have this short quiz. I will give another 10 minutes to answer the short quiz. I already posted it to our class stream. Please visit to our Google Classroom and answer it individually. Please be honest. Okay, you can start. You can now start. Time's up. I will count to 10 seconds. If someone who will not pass between the range I will give you will not be accepted anymore. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Very good. I already received all your answers. Okay. So for your assignment class, I will give you the task to study about the trapezoid and kite. And for our next meeting, I will ask questions based what you have learned on the 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 lessons I will post to our Google Classroom later. The copy.
Yes, ma'am.
Nakuha niyo ba ang yung assignment natin? Mag-advance study po kayo about sa trapezoid and kites for our next lessons. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for listening. And again, I am Napolinti Mundigo. And goodbye, class.
Bye, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Harold. Thank you, Charney.